Hello guys, welcome to the video. Now I'm going to do a quick oil change on the ZX9. I'll show you what I'm using. The Motul 7100 10 watt 40, which is the recommended for this bike anyway. This is the fully synthetic. It should do the engine real good. I'm going to also use liquid moly to give it a flush, being this bike actually sat for about 7 years before I got it. Obviously got a new oil filter, drain plug I've actually put in that box as well. K&N, there's already K&N on it, but I'm going to make sure I got the oil I want in it. I don't know what they put in it, whoever done it last. One of the blokes who was doing it up, getting it back on the road, obviously done that. The good thing about this bike as well, let's move you over here and just see if I can get you to see. It's hard to see what's on here because the sun has now come out. But you may be able to see if I get that in the dark, I might adjust. But the oil filter is just in there. You'll get a bit of mess on the exhaust. I'll put a bit of paper towels over the belly pan as well, just to make sure, just in case some dust splash over it. It shouldn't matter too much, it should be easy to clean. Let me just check. There is a little bit of heat wrap stuff on there, but that should be okay. And the oil plug is clear of the belly pan as well. Arm for the tripod is a bit in the way as well, so it's probably moving about a bit, sorry about that. The drain plug is just there. First things first though, I need to take this off if I can. There we go. I may change this for something else, I'm not too keen on that. I may put the original back on or something, which I haven't got, so I'd have to buy one. And the first thing I need to do, hopefully this will fit in there okay, let's see how this fits. Yeah, I'll have to hold that while I do it. I'm going to put this liquid moly Pro Line engine flush in it. Like I say, the bike was sitting for 7 years before I got it, so it's probably a good idea just to make sure any sludge build up and carbon build up in the oil system through the channels and pick up and etc. is all taken care of. What you need to do is just put this in there. I probably don't need to put it all in, but I probably might as well. It says there's enough there for 5 litres of oil. But what we do is put this in here, start the engine up, let it run on idle for 10 minutes. And then drain the oil as normal. Also I'll have to let the oil cool a bit first. So we'll start it up in a sec. So you'll get a cold start up. Hasn't been started up since I last went out on it. And just get a bit of tissue. In case that drips. Get the inside of that wipe down as well, because I will use that to put the oil in. And pop that back on. That should do. Give you a nice little cold start, plus this is like a walled area, there's only like a little gap behind me and one over the other side. So the exhaust sounds really good in here. So I'll do a cold start up and then I'll turn the camera off and I'll get back to you once I'm ready to drain the oil. Fuel tap on, choke on, alarm off before that shakes at me. Ignition on. Right, there we go for the start. That's the oil flush done. It's now time to let the oil drain and cool down a bit before I can gather things ready. But in the meantime, I've got the oil pan in place. I've got the oil filter ready. I haven't put any oil on it yet, but I've took the plastic off it. Just around a bit of plastic on it to protect it. Got my new plug and washer ready. And got my 17mm ready for the drain plug. That should be 17. I haven't actually checked, but it should be. This one is, and that's an original, so it should and so is the K&N actually, so I should be able to get to the K&N to undo that, because that'll be a bit easier than trying with a hand, especially being as I've left the fairings on. I'll get back with you in a bit. I've got to just leave it another 10 minutes just to cool down and drain down. Hopefully you can see the drain bolt okay, it's just here. Get the 17mm on it, and it is 17 as I knew. Whoa. Sorry about the shaking cam, that was a bit tight then. Quite surprised how tight that was. They're not very high torque settings for these, so I never bothered torquing. I'll just nip them up and then just turn them a bit again. Should have put some gloves on really, but it don't matter. The tissue probably won't do nothing, but almost there. There we go. So the oil does look actually quite nice and clear still. I've had the I've had the bike since March. It's now towards the end of August, so I've had it just over 5 months now. I don't know exactly when the oil was changed before. But look how quick and lovely this one, mate. I can smell that flush stuff in there. I'm quite surprised how clean and clear it looks really for used oil. How many miles have I put on the bike? At least 3,000, maybe a little over 3,000. The bolt might be relatively new actually, but I've got a brand new one, so there you go. At least I know what it's got then. That's what I like to do with a new to me bike. Do all this sort of stuff if you're not 100% sure what they've done, or even what they've put in it. If you prefer a certain oil, it might be worth doing, because you don't know if they've just got some cheap stuff to put in to save money, because they know it's not going to be their bike anymore. I'll give the sump a bit of a wipe down while I'm here. I'll do a proper clean up some, try and take all the fairings off and give everything a good clean up. Good to do every now and again. Put a new plug in place. I don't think that much more will drain out. Got the right washer on there now as well, because the other washer is too small. Where is that old plug? Don't know if you can see that. That's a small one, that shouldn't be like that. Sorry if the camera's shaking about every now and then. Right, that should do the trick. Just keep checking first couple of days or so after the well, just keep checking after the next few days for leaks from the sump plug, and obviously from anywhere else, and after rise just to be sure, and recheck your oil. Obviously we've still got to fill that. I've got to try and show you me removing the oil filter now. So So hopefully you can see where it is. I'm just going to wrap some of this around just in case it. How hot's the exhaust? Might be okay just to put some tissue over. Just to lessen the amount of mess. Now I've got to try and get to it with this. I might need the extension. Oh. So if the camera angle just changed because I just knocked it again. Once it's loose enough, should be able to just bring it out that way up, and then you can empty it in the pan. Sit it in there and let that drain. Just going to double check that the O-ring is on the old filter, and that is, so we're all good there. So you see where that is. Let's give that a clean up all around the edge where the gasket sits. I've just got to make sure my finger is clean as I can here. I don't want to put any contamination on the gasket. Rubber O-ring. I've done it, lifted the cap on the oil, tipped upside down so I can get my finger in there and just get a little bit of oil for lubricating that. That's hooked it. Just wiping a bit of oil. Hopefully you can see that because I can't see what you can see. Just wiping a bit of fresh oil around that rubber O-ring. Get myself in place so I can see what I'm doing through the fairings. And just twist that right on. Turn it as much as you can with your hand. Actually, sorry, knock the camera again. Yeah, tighten it as tight as you can with your hands should be enough, because these torque settings on these are very low. But just because I can't get to it very well with my hands at the minute, I'm just going to put this on. Just tighten it a little bit more. That should be fine. I should be able to take all that off. Now all we have to do is fill up. I think it says, alright Mr. Crow, I'm trying to talk here. I think it said something like 3.8 litres with the filter change as well. I've got a 4 litre can here. I'll just fill it up till it looks okay in the glass, then I'll run the engine for 30 seconds a minute, something like that, just to get it all circulating and fill up the oil filter. No need to ever fill the filter first, it's just not necessary. And obviously I've got the best stuff, so it's red. Wish I'd put a handle in a different spot to make it a little easier to pour with one hand. It's right at the top rather than on the side, and this doesn't like to sit there on its own. So we'll be putting most of this oil in. Like I said earlier, after you've filled it, ran it, checked it, topped it up, after a ride, check it again. Just check how much we've gone through. There's still over 2 litres in here, so. I love the colour of this. That's under 2 litres left to us. Getting there. Starting to show in the sight glass, I think, slightly. I think that should do, really. Give it a bit of time to settle and see what happens. You can see it more there, it's coming up in the sight glass nicely. And I'll say that's enough for now. Yeah, it's a little bit too high, as it kind of should be if I put the right amount in. It's got to run it now. I've got circulate, fuel on, alarm off. Hopefully won't need chokes, we were running it earlier of course, but see what the temperatures are, still at 63. Should do the trick. We just got to let it settle down for a few minutes or so and recheck the oil. That's nice and easy. That hasn't been long. I'm going to quickly leave the bike. Yeah, that's all good. I'll check it again when I'm out and about. I'll find somewhere which is definitely flat, because it's hard to tell if this is flat here because a lot of it is slopey and stuff, but it's definitely within the top and middle markers, which you probably won't be able to see on camera, but you know when you look at your own bike. I'd always suggest having a Haynes manual handy or workshop manual handy of some kind, so you can check jobs, even jobs I've done before. Occasionally I will recheck in the book just to make sure I remember the procedures and all that kind of thing. But there you go, nice and easy oil change on the ZX9. Hope you enjoyed it, hope it's helpful. It's pretty much the same on motorbikes anyway to do an oil change. You may need to remove fairings, you may not. If you haven't got fairings, of course not. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.